Welcome to Episode 25, Configuration Management, Part 1. Every system's behavior, resilience, and exposure to risk come from how it is configured. Configuration is where technology decisions meet operational discipline. Even the most secure software can become vulnerable when installed with weak settings or unmanaged changes. A well-governed configuration program keeps systems stable, predictable, and compliant, turning infrastructure into a controlled environment rather than an experiment. The central truth is simple. You cannot protect what you do not understand, and you cannot understand what you do not configure deliberately. Good configuration management turns chaos into structure and intentions into evidence. Building from that foundation, baseline configurations serve as the starting point for every platform type. A baseline defines the approved state settings, versions, and security parameters against which all systems are compared. Different platforms require tailored baselines, one for Windows servers, another for Linux, a third for network devices, and so on. Each baseline reflects both industry best practices and organizational context, ensuring that systems share consistent hardening without blocking legitimate function. Think of the baseline as a blueprint. Without it, every team builds differently, and security becomes luck. With it, uniformity replaces improvisation, and drift becomes measurable rather than invisible. Gold images and approved build paths extend baselines into practice. A gold image is a pre-configured system snapshot that includes operating system, patches, and essential settings. Approved build paths describe how new systems are created from these images through automation or scripts. Together, they ensure that new assets start in a known secure state rather than relying on manual setup. Regularly refresh gold images with the latest patches and validate them through automated testing. When developers or administrators request a new server, the approved path should guarantee it inherits baseline protections automatically. Standardized builds reduce error, save time, and make security repeatable at scale. Change control is the governance layer that keeps configuration integrity intact. Every modification, whether adding software, altering permissions, or editing network rules, should follow a formal process: request, assess, approve, and record. The request describes what will change and why. The assessment considers impact on security, performance, and compliance. Approval confirms that risk is acceptable and evidence is captured. The change is then implemented, tested, and logged. This cycle ensures that systems evolve without losing control. It also creates traceable evidence showing that changes were planned, reviewed, and authorized. Change control makes adaptation accountable. Emergency changes require flexibility but not exemption from oversight. When a critical outage or active threat demands immediate action, the process must allow fast implementation with mandatory after-action reviews. The change should still be documented, tested retroactively, and approved after the fact by authorized personnel. This balance between speed and control prevents temporary fixes from becoming permanent risks. A well-designed emergency process respects urgency while preserving transparency. Every emergency teaches lessons about preparation, communication, and documentation. Over time, the number of true emergencies should decline as preventive maturity rises. A configuration item inventory brings order to the many moving parts. Each configuration item, servers, applications, network devices, containers, or even policies, should have a unique identifier, owner, and relationship to other items. This inventory becomes the backbone of configuration management databases, allowing teams to trace dependencies, assess impact, and verify compliance. Ownership ensures accountability. Someone is responsible for maintaining each item's secure state. Without inventory, drift hides. With it, change becomes traceable. A strong configuration inventory is less about collecting data and more about establishing a single source of truth for the environment's structure. Integrity monitoring and drift detection keep that inventory trustworthy. Automatic tools should compare current configurations to baselines, flagging deviations as soon as they appear. Drift detection identifies unauthorized or unintended changes before they become vulnerabilities. Alerts should include what changed, when, and by whom, with clear workflows for review. For example, if a firewall rule is altered outside of approved maintenance windows, an alert triggers investigation. Drift control is not about punishing mistakes, it is about restoring confidence in known states. Every detected and resolved deviation strengthens the system's resilience and the team's awareness. Least functionality and service hardening round out baseline discipline. Each system should run only the services, ports, and modules required for its role. Unused features expand attack surfaces and complicate patching. Hardening disables or removes what is unnecessary, sample applications, legacy protocols, or default accounts. Apply the principle of least functionality just as you would least privilege for users. The fewer features exposed, the fewer opportunities for misuse. Hardened configurations simplify defense and stabilize performance. Complexity is the enemy of security, and minimalism is its ally. Secrets management and secure defaults protect credentials and configurations that carry sensitive data. Administrative passwords, API keys, and encryption certificates should reside in managed vaults rather than scripts or files. Systems should start with secure defaults, encryption enabled, anonymous access disabled, and minimal permissions granted. Users can loosen restrictions deliberately if justified, but should never need to tighten insecure defaults. Secure defaults establish safety from the first boot. Combined with secret rotation policies and access logs, they form the core of trustworthy system hygiene. Secrets are assets. Manage them like currency, not convenience. Provider inheritance must be recognized for managed platforms such as cloud or software-as-a-service environments. In these cases, configuration responsibility is shared. The provider secures infrastructure layers while the customer configures application and access layers. Document which settings are inherited and which remain under your control. Periodically review provider attestations and confirm that inherited configurations meet your expectations. Misunderstanding boundaries creates gaps no one intends to own. Clarity about inheritance ensures accountability remains complete even when responsibilities are shared. Embedding evidence hooks directly into the change workflow makes auditing seamless. Each approved change should automatically generate records, tickets, screenshots, configuration diffs, or automated reports that show what occurred and who authorized it. Integrate these hooks with ticketing and monitoring systems so evidence captures itself as part of normal work. When assessors ask for proof of change control, the system can produce it instantly. Evidence automation turns compliance from a separate task into a built-in feature. The easier proof is to collect, the more likely it stays complete. Common pitfalls in configuration management repeat across industries. Teams often skip documentation, rely on outdated baselines, or allow exceptions to multiply without review. Others automate without governance, producing fast but untracked changes. Recovery playbooks address these issues by defining step-by-step responses when drift or misconfiguration occurs. Playbooks should include identification, isolation, rollback, and communication actions. Practicing recovery strengthens both technical readiness and team confidence. Configuration errors are inevitable. What matters is catching and correcting them quickly. In closing, stable and controlled configurations are the quiet foundation of every secure environment. They make change measurable, restoration predictable, and risk visible. A disciplined configuration program balances precision with practicality, building standards flexible enough to support operations but strict enough to maintain trust. When every system starts from a known good state, changes follow recorded paths, and drift is detected in time, security becomes an outcome of process, not just technology. Configuration management, done right, replaces anxiety with assurance and chaos with control. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.